So my name's Ron Scott and I own my own franchise group called Creative by Design, and my love job is being president of the industry bodies. So I try and bring a business side to it. I talk design, I try and make them a more professional body, and so I work 24/7 and my wife wonders why I bother, but it's a love job. I did a university degree in money, finance, business, money, but I really didn't want to become an accountant, so I thought, well, what can I do? What are my skills good at? And I set up my own business, but I met a guy who's running a franchise group, and what I loved about it was the business model. Not so much furniture, it wasn't the fact it was a furniture company, I love the openness. They talk figures, they talk business models. And Australians aren't very communicative, so I found this was new, it was interesting here. We do built-in storage, so we do kitchens, home office, closets, laundries, pantries, so yeah. I think it's done it two ways. So one is cheap imports, lower the quality, and customers assume they can get better for less. That's a problem. 90% of people just give their product away without understanding the need to make a dollar. And the high quality imports are a problem because Australians would love to have a polyform out of Italy, but want to pay half the price. So it's a threat on either side of it. So I think we need to make Australian companies more professional to know how to handle competition without dropping the price. So I talk brand, I talk design, I talk how to run a better business, not just a better product. Probably say two things. Trust is important. The consumer has to know that they're dealing with a company that's reputable, it's got systems, it's got procedures, it will deliver quality. And most Australian companies, and it is a cottage industry, more focus on product without understanding customer service or design. So they're good at making product, but I think they need to do a complete package in terms of, one is identifying the customer's needs. And that's a challenge because most builders do not know how to ask questions. So the typical male will say, I know what to give you. Whereas I think the approach should be, can we work through with you what your needs are and identify what the customer's looking for? So I talk collaboration, so that it's a three-way process between the customer, the designer and the manufacturer. So there's no point designing something if you can't make it. So it's got to be a team effort, and the customer deserves something better than just what is easy to make in the factory. I've been doing this for years, and it's a challenge because the consumer's never got a look in here. So I think it's really important that we listen to them. Manufacturers think they know how to make products, and what would a designer know? And the designer thinks, well, I know what I want to make, but they're not prepared to change their ways. So it's a learning curve, and it demands a lot of collaboration. So it won't be fixed in 5 minutes, but we shouldn't ignore it either. What I was about to say is the government support big business. They talk about a belief in the free market economy, but if you look at R&D and innovation, all the breaks go to big business. A small guy might have a lot of ideas, but to get it over the line, he puts everything on it, and if it doesn't work, then that's gone forever. So I'd like to see more support for small business in the early stages, not a commercialisation project that talks $100 million. So there's a natural instinct for governments to think big, and I'd like to see more support for the small business guy in Australia. I'd like to get them involved in design, focus on some export opportunities. We're not a big export country at the moment, and I think our design is some of the best in the world. So I'd love to encourage grants that let the collaboration process have a design export focus. Good question, because Australians are very good at doing things. They don't always believe they should be part of an association. They will certainly be better off. I know they'll be better off because they'll deliver a better product, they'll get repeat business, the customer will come back to them. Trust is critical, and I'm more involved in customer service than most of our members. So I do surveys, I listen, I talk, and the one thing a customer wants is to be able to rely on a builder, a kitchen manufacturer, deliver a product from beginning to end. And right now, anyone who's ever done a house in Australia knows the problems, the pitfalls that go in having tradespeople in their house. So trust is critical, and I think we should listen to the customer more. And most builders and project managers talk themselves. They don't talk to customers enough at the home level, and the trust is critical. Talk to a homeowner, find out the pitfalls of renovating a home, and most of them will tell you they'll never do it again. And the truth is, we want them to do it more often, and it's critical for our future that the trust is there to let them feel it's safe to do it again. Everyone I know can remember their kitchen that was built by a bloke who gave them what he needed, which was easy to make in a factory. That's not what the customer wants. And if you talk to my wife, she'd give you a better answer, because she can still remember 20 years later what this kitchen was like and what was wrong with it. So we all become better at it because we identify and we talk about it, but we need our own members to understand that you're better off talking. And small business has a challenge. It's very lonely. So if you only talk to yourself, you're not listening to other people who've been through it before and they've made mistakes. So one of the big benefits out of this is that you'll have other members to talk to, and you minimise, and I do have a franchise ownership background now, and one of the huge benefits is you don't need to make the same mistake again. Talk to your peers, talk to your colleagues, talk about how they handled a situation or a job or a customer, and it's a learning process. I've changed my answer in the last month, actually. I think it's a combination of things. It's not one thing by itself. And I asked the Design Award people, what do they think of my business? Because we focus on the customer. And I said, our goal is to have a happy customer and to make sure that they're part of the process and they're happy with what they get. And he said, Ron, you're a perfect example of good design, because design has to be related to delivery of a good product at a fair value that they'll appreciate. So it's not just form and function, colour. And a lot of people talk colour as if that's a determining factor of design. Well, it's not. And form and function are part of it. But at the end of it, it's really working with the customer to deliver something that they needed, they want, and they're happy with.